Hi, it's Lisa Cuneo. Welcome to my scrapbook table. I have a few photos from outdoors after the wedding, and once again, I'm using a sketch from Scrap-A-Sketch. It's the premium content, which is a very reasonable monthly cost, and I've been using her sketches a lot lately. Lisa's sketches are easy to follow, easy to adapt. I made some flowers from an Elizabeth Craft Designs die set at a recent just Friday evening crop. I only took 2 layouts to work on, but I took this die set and some scraps and some distress ink and decided to play with it. It was something very portable and easy to take with me. So in the sketch, which I can't share the sketch with you, but I will have a link to Lisa's website down below. There are some strips going across horizontally, so I took some strips that I cut from this textured cardstock. I can't really explain what this cardstock's like. It's not like anything I've ever seen. I got it from a friend at her scrapbooking yard sale, and I have several sheets of it. I'm really happy with it. It has a nice roughened feel to it. And it took this ink really well. You'll see in the close-ups a little better. But I wanted it to be streaky and not solid color, and it did that nicely. Also, I'm loving my glass mat that I can just paint on there and then wipe it up really quick. So for a background, I'm using some cardstock that it does have texture to it, and it's this tan color on the front and it's off-white on the back. I do not know where it came from. I have a whole pack of it though, but there's no label on it. The sketch has some stitching, creating a smaller square within the 12 by 12 square, but I didn't want to get my daughter's sewing machine out, so I decided to just utilize some really thin strips. These are probably 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little less, of this same textured cardstock that I used for the 1-inch pieces or 3/4 inch pieces. And I'm just putting those around the edges of the 12 by 12 just to create a border within that 12-inch square. My photos are larger than the ones used in the sketch, so I had to make a few adjustments, but I couldn't cut these photos down any further without cutting people off, and I didn't want to do that. So there's one of the entire wedding party that will be at the bottom, one with the bride and groom as the focus in the center, and then one with several of the wedding party laughing together at the top. I'm using my T-square ruler to try to get these things centered and even, which I didn't do perfectly, but it's close enough. It's good enough for me. Sorry, you can see my Kindle playing there to the left. I usually have either scrapbooking videos on or something like 48 Hours or sometimes a Hallmark movie playing while I scrapbook. Sometimes a Bible podcast too. Just depends on the day and the time. So now you can see I have larger strips on the left and smaller pieces on the right, which is what it was like in the sketch. I am moving these out to the side, and my floral elements from the Elizabeth Craft Designs die set are going to bridge that gap. And so here I have some pieces out, and the one I showed you at the beginning, or that's finished there, I had done some shading on. The inks I used were Fossilized Amber, Antique Linen, and Spiced Marmalade, just a teeny bit of that. But then I went in with this Aged Mahogany and used a tiny little blending brush and added details to the edges. When I created the flowers, I just used scraps of watercolor paper and inked them up very randomly. I was not careful at all. I just put ink on the page, on the scraps, and then ran them through the die cut machine. I did use some brown scraps there for the centers of these flowers. and I had some leaves I cut out of green, and I did add some inks to those as well, just to create a little bit of variation in the leaves. Mainly, I think I used the fossilized amber and the aged mahogany. Yes. So now I'm just layering these up. Some I do all 4 layers of the flower, some I only do 3. And then I put that little centerpiece in. This centerpiece would look nice with, like, if you had some tiny beads you could glue on there. I think that would be fun. I do not. I ended up putting some glitter gel from an old Stampin' Up. I think it's called Dazzling Diamonds. The bottle's just about empty, but I was able to squeeze out enough for the 6 flowers that end up on this page. And I don't have you watch me ink up and assemble all of these flowers. It's going to switch in just a moment here, but I did want to give you an idea of how I created them. I bought this Elizabeth Crafts Designs die for $5 at a scrapbooking yard sale, probably 3 months ago, and it was definitely worth the $5. I can see me using this a lot, especially for maybe a wedding card or a sympathy card, and I may do some of those soon. But it was fun to just cut out the pieces and play and just see what I could come up with. And now I'm happy that I was able to actually get all of those pieces onto a page. So now I am putting the leaves on the back, and I do pop up the corners of most, if not all, of the leaves with some little pieces of Stampin' Dimensionals that I trimmed to fit behind the corners of the leaves. So I'm just about done. I decide the layout needs something else besides, well, here I'm putting the glitter gel in. And you'll see in a moment that I pull out my Penny in Your Pocket Color Splash from Shimmer's paints, and I add some dots of that around, which I do like. I am still not convinced that the layout is done. It's done for now. I may end up posting it in one of my Facebook groups and asking for a little input. I kind of feel like it needs something else. It doesn't need journaling because this is within several pages that tell who the people are and that sort of thing. So I don't feel like it needs journaling. I don't really know of a title to put on it. Yeah, it's the bridal party. I could do that. But I don't know. So I may end up doing something else. If you have an idea or thought or suggestion, you could put it in the comments below. I would like that. There are still shots coming up where you'll be able to see the dimension on the flowers and a little bit more detail. Again, this used a sketch from Scrap-A-Sketch, so you can go there if you'd like. I'll have a link in the description box below. Thank you so much for joining me today. There are those flowers. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you get to scrap or craft something soon. Have a good day. Goodbye.